So, Kate, let's get straight into it. You're an actress, trained actress. Why?
Not trained.
Okay. I thought, okay, what are you then?
What am I? Well, I'm actually a zoologist, if you count the degree I have. But that was very quickly shelved, and I went back to doing sort of more Amdram and then trying to pursue that more professionally. And
right, okay, because I was under the impression that you were an actress who'd kind of somehow decided to become a producer, and so, okay, so a zoologist, even better.
Even stranger.
Yeah, so why make Lord of the Rings? I know you've not made Lord of the Rings, but, you know, you kind of have, with a bit of a slash.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's basically I watched the movies, and that was what introduced me to the Lord of the Rings at all and Tolkien, and really enjoyed them. I like that sort of real fantasy, if that exists, and those sort of movies are like escapism movies. And I can't remember exactly how, because it was about 6 years ago now when Return of the King came out, but I found a competition on the internet and thought that it would be a good idea to make a fan film. They only wanted a 5-minute thing, and of course that just snowballed though into what's now a 70-minute
because
film.
It is an epic. I mean, you know, it's frankly gobsmacking. It's like, am I actually watching the trailer for The Hobbit, or what is this? You know, when I first saw it, I was like, what am I watching? It's crazy. So, how has it been received by the fans, by the thousands of people who are lovers of Lord of the Rings?
It's been really well received, because and that's the scariest thing really about doing any sort of fan film, really. And we never really called it a fan film because it's felt like an independent film more than anything. But you obviously are sort of doing something that fans are very I don't know, sort of like sacred to them.
Yeah, you're meddling with the gold, you know, the stuff you don't meddle with.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, that's half good and half bad. And we could have been slated. They could have been like, oh, no, that's so wrong. That's not what I think. And this, that hair colour's wrong and things like that. And then we've had very few little comments like that. And most of the guys actually have been really supportive. They've really liked what we've done. The fact that we've kept the timeline the same as in the books and things, and we had very little to go on, which maybe is a good thing actually, because we couldn't leave anything out because there's so little to go on. But no, loads of people have been really enthusiastic, and even we've had comments saying, you know, oh, I've gone back and watched the movies again, and now I'm reading the books again, you know, like just wanting to sort of read more, and actually like maybe they've read the books loads but never really looked at the appendices, and now they're looking at that.
It's interesting though, because as a filmmaker, often you make a film without knowing who your audience is, but I mean you clearly knew who your audience was, because Peter Jackson had just delivered 3 epics to them.
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, with that in mind, of course you can't really commercially exploit this, can you? No,
I knew from the start that basically this was just what they call a fan film. You put it out there to the internet and let people watch it, but you can't make any money from it or anything. And it was never meant to be a commercial film or anything. I just kind of wanted to make that sort of thing. And it was a case, well, if you do it, you've got that nice platform of Lord of the Rings and people want to see it. And I was kind of interested in seeing some more backstory of these characters and stuff. So yeah, no, we can't make money off it, which is sometimes annoying when a sales agent goes, oh, do you want to sell that? And you're like, yeah, I'd love to, but I can't, you know. So that's been a bit frustrating. But at the same time, if we hadn't have done a Lord of the Rings thing, they wouldn't have even heard about it, because you know, so many films are made.
So it's actually a really cunning strategy. I don't know how conscious you were of it up front, but somehow, you know, you've how many hits have you had on YouTube now?
On YouTube, I think it's about 750,000 or something like that. Overall
so
on the
reasonably,
internet,
by the end
it's
of the year,
over 1 million. It's 1.5 million or something like that.
That's crackers. I mean, that's absolutely, for Mike, it's bonkers. So we've got to think about me saying bonkers now. And it's been a bit of a Twitter campaign. So there you go, Mike. Bonkers. Yeah, that is in fact quite astonishing.
Yeah.
How does it feel to know that, you know, 1.5 million people have watched your film?
It's very strange, because I mean, one of the strange things as well, because it was an internet film, the strangest bit was the release, kind of, because that was all the way back in December last year, and it was such panic, and the days beforehand and the weeks beforehand, and then all of a sudden it was 7 o'clock. That was when we were going to go live, and it was like click.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You know,
We're in that moment right now.
And it was sort of that weird thing of just going, okay, that's it. No big flashy premieres and red carpets. That was it. That was our release, and it felt really sort of anticlimactic.
Right.
But then, you know, you see the figures start to come up and things, and then we had a whole chunk of press randomly in sort of
yeah, because I've seen
February.
you've been blogging and doing lots of press and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's really, you know.
We had a lot come up this year. It sort of came out of nowhere, though. We'd sort of talked a little bit about the film, but we hadn't done loads of press before the release because we weren't sure it was actually going to get released in time because there was such panic. It's that classic thing of sort of like renders not happening and whatever else. And then I did a local paper thing, and then it just got taken by some press agents, and they just touted it around.
And
yeah, it just
and you
exploded.
ended up on like BBC News and all that kind of
But
nonsense.
like even just the other day, I got asked for some photographs for The Australian, a big newspaper in Australia, and I'm like, and I don't know where that's come from, but they're obviously doing a new little story about it. So it's sort of ticking along still, which is kind of nice.
Has the whole fact that you can't make money out of it, has it actually freed you to kind of enjoy the process more? Because right from the get-go, you didn't have to make any compromises from a commercial perspective. You knew what you spent was the money you were responsible for. You couldn't get it back.
Yeah.
But you could do whatever you wanted then. Did you think it freed you?
I think so, yeah. I mean, having not done a commercial project and now sort of thinking about going that direction, it does seem quite scary, sort of dealing with other people, loads of money, and then the restrictions of that. Whereas, yeah, I could kind of... I obviously wanted to please the guys, the fans, especially as a lot of fans donated money to the project. But at the same time, yes, I could just do as much as we could with the money. And because everyone was giving their time and energy for free, there wasn't the sort of financial costs of that and things. And everyone was extremely generous to the project.
Right.
Because I think that was another reason, because they knew it wasn't going to make any money. They didn't feel cheated in the fact that they weren't getting any pay. So it was kind of a labour of love, and now has become a really good showcase for everyone involved, really, and has helped people get jobs and stuff.